We've always posted two collection resources up until now. One author to the author's resource, one author collection to the author collection's resource. But what about posting to a resource URI that includes the GUID, the ID, in the URI? In other words, posting to a single resource instead of a collection resource. There's an example of that on screen now. Our API is still up and running. This request can never result in success. It can return a 404 not found if the author doesn't exist, or a 409 conflict if the author already exists. But why is that the case? Well, let's imagine we would allow posting to the URI you see on screen here. It's a URI that contains an ID of an author. While post is used for creating resources, the ID part of the URI signifies a mistake. Currently, it's our server that is responsible for creating the resource URI and not the consumer of the API. If we allow the consumer to generate the URI, which is a valid use case, a post like this would have to be idempotent, and post isn't idempotent. We cannot rely on the fact that multiple post requests will result in the same outcome. So, treating post as idempotent shouldn't be done. That is not to say that we cannot allow the consumer to generate the URI. But you shouldn't use post for that. We will actually encounter an example of this when we learn about upserting. But in cases like this, with post, often a 405 method not allowed is returned. So what is the best way to handle a request like this? Well, in these cases, often a 405 method not allowed is returned, stating that you cannot post to this URI. Let's try sending this request. And that is indeed what we get back. We didn't even have to do anything for this. ASP.NET Core supports this out of the box. Let's look into updating resources next.